Yo people, welcome back to another video with CMDAV, and I got another banger, another story time. We're doing Ruth Kirby story time today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get into the vid. Ruth is a genius who at the age of 13 has remarkable achievements as she has A stars in some of her GCSEs. Season 6 episode 1, we first see Ruth arguing with her mum saying that she can't make her go to Waterloo Road, leading to the new head teacher Karen moving the altercation indoors but taking Ruth and her brother Jonah into the assembly with her. In assembly, Karen reveals that the cooler no longer exists and there's a new rule of 3 strikes and you're out. Ruth starts to plot her plan to get kicked out by getting 3 strikes. Ruth's parents tell her that she has to stay at Waterloo Road. She pleads saying that she wants to be with Marcus, her dad. She asks how long does she need to give Waterloo Road a chance for, and her mum says a week, and if she doesn't like it, she never has to step foot in the school again. Her first lesson with Grantley, she starts to show him up, asking if he's read the book The Other Side of Truth, and she asks whether he thinks he has something to say about the refugee experience and prejudice encountered. Budgeon says it doesn't matter what he thinks because he's not taking the exam, and then she goes on to ask like 100 questions. She asks about why they're reading Catcher in the Rye and violates Sam, saying that she wouldn't really understand it. Grantley takes Ruth to Karen's office and Karen tells Grantley that she's just attention seeking because she's used to all the attention as she was homeschooled. She was vexed, she wanted to get punished and she didn't even get nothing. In her chemistry lesson, she violates Sam again because Sam says that she likes practical, and Ruth basically calls her stupid, saying that she wouldn't understand anything apart from practicals. She sees another opportunity to get herself a strike. She mixes potassium nitrate and sugar to make a smoke bomb, leading to Tom hitting the fire alarm. Karen tells Ruth that she'll deal with her later, so she sends her back to class. Ruth is annoyed that she's sent back to class and she says, fine, chemical warfare won't get me expelled from this dump. Ruth overhears Sam and Lauren's conversation before they start to play netball. Ruth and Sam were on opposite teams and Ruth was marking Sam. She didn't know how to play and was told by Lauren to stand next to Sam. She'd be like, why on earth would I do that? I was laughing at this point, I can't even lie. So they start to play netball, and then Lauren and Amy aren't passing to Sam, and Ruth is in the back putting her 2 pence in, saying that they should have passed to her, and then she's even saying that she's surprised that she even has any friends or even a boyfriend, and then boom, she gets elbowed in the face. To be fair, she's lucky, because if it was me, she'd probably get a punch in the face, but elbow, punch, same difference, isn't it? Sam gets suspended while Ruth begs to be suspended. Karen says she's not going to reward her and give her what she wants. Karen tells Ruth that she's not capable of getting along with people and making friends and only capable of exams and studying, because that's what she's used to. Ruth denies this, and then Karen flips it back on her, saying that she'll have plenty of time to prove her wrong. Jonah sees Ruth and her bloodied nose. Ruth says that her dad was right and she wants to go. Jonah says no. Ruth is telling him she's been assaulted, but she won't tell him why. He says he knows her too well and that she's a genius. Jonah tells her he'll give Waterloo Road a chance, but Ruth can do what she wants. She changes and leaves school. She gets a lift from a stranger to her dad's house. She gets to the house, but her dad doesn't answer and she finds out that the house was sold. There's a search party for Ruth, which includes police and teachers and other volunteers. Jessica and Tom finally find Ruth. In episode 2, Karen calls Ruth into her office, speaking about the previous episode, and she's asking her if she knew what she put her parents through. Ruth said that she did and she gets it, and Karen tells her about the sign passes needed to get out of the school now, implementing it because something like Ruth leaving school will never be able to happen again. She also gets a new timetable for A-level English and Maths, and Ruth is excited and says that she'll finally be able to get an education. Thinking about it now, throughout the whole cast of season 6, I think Ruth was the only one that was 13, so in Waterloo Road she was the only one that was in year 8 at the time, and that's why they had her be a genius. So putting her in the A-level class, she could be with Ronan and Jonah and Jess and Vicky, and then she was in the GCSE classes with Finn and Amy and Lauren and Sam and Josh. In episode 4, she sees that Marcus is in the school and she argues with Jonah about him taking her out of the school. Jonah says that her dad wants both of them to succeed, but Ruth says that he doesn't like them being there, but Jonah claps back saying that he didn't seem pretty upset when he saw him playing football. After the argument, Ruth follows Jonah and catches him playing poker with Ronan and some others. She joins them and she smokes all of them in poker, saying that she knows all their tells and she was just too smart for them. Karen and Marcus then catch her, and then she snakes that they were playing poker and brags that she won. Marcus is furious and wants to take them both out of school, but then realizes that Ruth wanted to play poker with them. She says that she was applying the skills that Marcus taught her and she found it fun. Marcus tells her to give it another week, and she's obviously unhappy. In episode 5, Ruth plans to spend more time with her dad since he becomes the geography teacher. He ignores her for the whole day as he doesn't have time because he was busy with Ronan. He tells her that he can't be her dad at school all the time. She's annoyed and refers to the time when he could do it before when homeschooling her. He tells her that she needs to accept that things will change and need to find some friends of her own. Near the end of the episode, she starts to talk to Harry, relating to each other as both their parents work at the school. Harry then tells her to walk him home and she asks whether he can't cross the road on his ones or something. In the next episode, she sees Harry getting bullied. She asks if it happens a lot and Harry plays it down, saying that if he wasn't getting bullied then they'll be out on the streets causing trouble. She catches him getting his trousers getting stolen. Wait, pause. How can man let his whole trousers get taken? Like, are you not embarrassed, man? Come on. Ruth gets angry at him on the third occasion after he says you gotta admire their dedication. She tells him to do something rather than just make stupid jokes. She calls him pathetic for being bullied. He claps back saying that if that's her way of giving help then that's why she has no friends. Boom, clap back like that. So why is he not doing that to the bullies though? On the fourth occasion, bear in mind the fourth occasion within one episode, the fourth occasion within one day. She catches him being pushed around in the hall. She steps in this time and stands up for him. She tells the bully to leave him alone. The youth says, what's it got to do with you? She demands him to leave Harry alone again. She goes on to say that you fancy him before calling the youth dumb. She gets pushed on the floor and wet with a soft drink. Harry then charges into the guy and beats him up. She then thanks him for jumping in for her and she says that they should stick together and become friends. In episode 7, Ruth gets a taste of popularity. She is believed to be Waterloo Road's strongest entrant to the inter-school debating contest, and she gets backed by Lauren and Amy, especially when talking to the rival Sophie McMullen. They tell Sophie that Ruth is unbeatable, but Ruth feels under pressure by everyone rooting for her, especially because lots of people bet on her to win. Lauren and Amy tell her to psych out Sophie, but it didn't really look like she was good at it because it ended up her losing the first round. Basically, she gets patterned before the contest even starts. She later watches Karen scold her new friend Harry. Lauren and Amy send him away, speaking for Ruth, saying that she's got all the support she needs. Ruth says he doesn't have to come after Harry suggested he will come after swimming. In Ruth's debate, she becomes stage fright and basically fumbles the bag. She gets shouted off the stage and barely gets 10 words in. Ronan actually wins the competition, which was funny because my man was really doing stripteasing. Ruth finds Harry. She says that she disappointed everyone. She apologizes that she doesn't think he's lame, and Harry tells her to stand up for herself. So previously, when Lauren and Amy told Ruth to psych out this Sophie girl, they had a conversation and it ended with Sophie saying that the only word that she would need to remember would be loser. So now, they're having another conversation and Sophie said that she was right in saying that the only word she would need to remember is loser. She then told Lauren and Amy to pick a better mascot. And then these two just denied they're even friends with her. They're like, nah, we're not friends with her. Sophie then calls her a loser with no mates, and Ruth gets better with a clapback. She says that she'll rather be a loser with no mates than an insecure cow that has to put people down that she's threatened by. Marcus hears and asks why she didn't want to share her voice earlier with the energy that she had. She says she doesn't want to be in his shadow and that she's her own person. Amy and Lauren say that they want to chill with her and that they can be friends, and she says that she'd rather hang out with Harry. In episode 9, Chris sets up the CCTV cameras around the school. Ruth is confused why people like Ronan and Jonah are against it because it protects people who are being bullied. Later on, she's arguing with Lauren, Josh, Ronan and Amy about it. Josh tells her that no one wants it, but she says unless it's you being beaten up, followed, robbed, or if a terrorist bomb goes off, you can find out who did it. Personally, to me, she was sounding good with her points, but she started to sound like a joke man. Her points were valid, but no one took her serious after the terrorist bombing part. Amy even asks how doesn't she get her dinner money robbed every day. Ruth finds out about Ronan and Jonah putting a camera in the staff room and she tells him that it's devious. She points out there's nothing wrong with the camera, but it depends on how it's used and that he's basically misusing it. In the final episode of the first part of season 6, Ruth has an entrance exam which is her way out of Waterloo Road. She's excited with the possibility of leaving. In her exam, she asks if it's the right paper. She finds it confusing and says she needs to talk to Grantly. She finds him and tells him what he's been teaching the class the whole term has been wrong and it was from the previous year's syllabus. He tries to cover up, but Ruth realizes that he's lying and outs him. Later on, she follows him into the hall angrily, sarcastically saying that he should be proud of what he's done. He says he worked all his life, but he still can't protect his wife. She doesn't register this and carries on. She says, "You call yourself a teacher. You're nothing, just a useless, lazy bully." Marcus is telling her to stop and Steph is telling her to be quiet because the man is literally upset and you can just see in his face that he's not even in the right place right now. Ruby and Steph,
welcome back, Steph, for one episode,
finally tell Karen about Fleur and how she has Alzheimer's. They tell her about him struggling throughout term. Ruth is listening all along and it's obvious she's feeling bad about what she said to him earlier. She then apologizes to him about what she said and he tells her that a school like this needs pupils like you, sadly. Marcus tells her that she's been offered a place at Webley Hall. She says that she doesn't want to go and she wants to stay at Waterloo Road. And that's the end of the first part of Season 6. All this character building in the first part of Season 6, you'd expect to see Ruth more in the second part, but surprisingly we only see her for 3 episodes. Ruth isn't seen until episode 17. She catches Jonah asking him questions about where he was this morning. He brushes it off, saying that they can't spend all the time together and that she doesn't need his help and she'll be fine. Context: Jonah has jumped into a relationship with Jessica and he just found out that she's pregnant, so his mind is really focused on her. After Jonah leaves, Harry comes in and she asks Harry to retrieve what Jonah was looking at. Harry refuses because he says it's spying. She says Jonah has been really weird, distant, and he's never at home. Harry helps her and she finds out that Jonah was looking for full-time jobs. She finds him later and tries to talk to him, but he's not in the mood. She tells him she knows about the application. She asks why and he says it's none of her business. She tells him she's worried about him because of his distance. She demands her brother back. She pulls him as soon as he walks away and he resists as soon as Karen walks down the stairs. Karen asks what's going on between the two of them. Ruth tells Karen that he's applying for full-time work. In episode 19, Chris asks Ruth about Jonah. Chris asks if Jonah stayed at Ronan's house, but Ruth says that she doubts it because Vicky was going on about how her and Ronan were together. Chris suggests that Jonah could have been there as well, but even Ruth knows that three's a crowd. In episode 20, Ruth is annoyed because her and Jonah are getting removed from the school because of Jonah's antics with Jessica. Marcus and Jonah apologize to her. She later is then hassled by Lauren and Amy asking if Jonah is involved with any other teachers. Harry defends her and he's unhappy as well because it's their last day together. We see Ruth next to Harry in the Cinderella play, but she doesn't say anything. The last scene we see of Ruth is at the end of the school day. Jonah returned from getting married and the three of them, Jonah, Ruth and Marcus, leave together. Personally, I thought that Ruth's first part of season 6 was very, very good and the character development was amazing, but I feel like in the second part of season 6 they should have carried it on, or at least just had her feature more within the episodes and have her doing something, maybe something with Harry or just something in general, because the fact that she was only in 3 episodes out of 10 was quite surprising to me. And when going back, sometimes you don't really realise, but when going back and watching all the episodes, you realise she was only there for 3 episodes. I was a bit confused and surprised, to be fair. That is the end of the video. Let me know your thoughts of the story time in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, share with your friends, and just let me know what you think of it in general. Thank you for watching, stay safe and peace.